Okay, so I promised I would do a quick couple runs just to show my process, sort of, and how long it takes me. I do play my game on mute, so just a warning. I'm going to start with the same setup I did for my Tamama crosses earlier. So we're gonna do Tamama cross. We're giving her mile A because we're doing fan runs. So I already have picked my parents. Obviously, in this moment, I would take a moment to do that. I'm not counting that as part of the time because you do that in Unity, URA, whatever. Here I'm going to use the same cards as previous. I don't think it really matters if I take the same cards, but these are generally, this is my fan bonus deck. Basically, everything in here has at least 10%. Some of them have 20. And Fuku just brings up your total stat start with a lot faster. So I go with her right now. Anyway, so we will start the time, at 3:46. I'm not going to, wait until the next minute or anything. It's not that deep. So we'll start the career. So the goal at the beginning of the career is going to be to get as many stats as possible to 200. You'll notice at the beginning, because we have Fuku and some pretty good inspiration or parents, we already have 200. And it's also to bring up your friendship. So I go through and I just look for the one that has the most friends on it. I think that's pretty standard. And I almost always take the extra training depending on where my energy is at. So we go through, we have 2 on both of those. We'll grab Fuku just because she has energy reduction. The other thing is I'm always thinking about the next turn. So generally I try to take as few rests as possible, which means that we do try to greed wit when we can, while still getting the most amount of friendships. There again, that was Fuku with energy reduction, which means less resting, and also 2 people on it. And also I need to push stamina just a little bit so we can get through the Spring Tenno show in the final year. This one, I always take the bottom option if it's an ace run, but the top option on fan runs because I get enough skill points just from running races. And that's another thing too, is once you know kind of what each event does, it takes you less time to make the choices, right? I'm gonna rest here because I have like no energy. I don't have Rico in my deck, so I don't care about getting her to green necessarily. Clicking her does give you more skill points, but other than that, she's like not necessary to care about. So you can see I'm getting really close to that 200 mark on my stamina already. This one, I always forget which is which, but I take the passing pro one because we're pushing stamina. So you'll notice I tend to check certain stats first. So generally speaking, I'll go through and I'll check the ones that have an arrow on them first. But I'll leave guts pretty much for last and stamina basically to second last. Which I really shouldn't do on some of the ones that have to push stamina a little harder, but that is kind of just habit. So it's usually like speed, power, wit, and then I check stamina and guts. I'm gonna tell her no because she's at full energy right now. We're gonna greed wit because it's not at 200, and also there's a lot of people on it. But yeah, my hand really just jumps to the ones with the up arrows on them. And a lot of times I'll just kind of go with instinct, I guess. Like there, I don't really have a reason I chose power. I guess I could have chose wit. But also, if you think about it, you want to get power up to as close to 1,000 as possible. Generally, you want to get speed up to as close to 1,000 as possible, because if you hit 1,100 in your parent runs, you have a bigger chance of getting 3 stars. So my goal is usually to do that. So this is I don't get that one very often. So Hot Topic is nice because if you do manage to get all of the NPCs, the non-support card ones, up higher, you get more what is it called? Skills at the end. So not skill points, stats at the end. So I do like Hot Topic there over like just 10 power. This one is no choice. This one has a lot of friends there. Before I forget, I'm gonna go ahead and slot in my pre-chosen, that was power versus, I think stamina or something. I'm going to slot in my pre-chosen agenda. And that's just basically every G1 race. This one again, that one, it was kind of 50-50 because I don't really need the energy. But I don't need the skill points either, because if you're hitting every single G1 race, you're probably getting like 20k, sorry, 2,000-ish skill points, not 20. So there's not really a reason to go for skill points on that event. I usually don't recreate before, oh, and that was just to get Fuku to orange. I usually don't recreate before the, late September, just because there's enough events that bring up your mood in general. Alright. We can wait again here. Now, the other thing I keep an eye on is the dates, and I do keep in mind when my dates are on. So I grabbed the bottom one because straight away Adept is more common. And then I'm going to recreate right before we go into... Oh, did I get a mood up and I missed it? But I would want to be in great mood right now just because the 2 races I'm doing are the next 2 turns. So some of these you'll notice I do have to check and see what they do, but like I said, that adds usually like a second, just like enough to read. And then we can go ahead and do our 2 little races. I like doing fan runs on Tamamo. But partly because she's just novel. I do check after each race to see if it what the energy down will be, because sometimes it's much higher. So, but I like doing Tamamo Cross because her schedule is wide open up until her senior year. So you can literally do every single G1 race as long as you give her the affinity for it. But she is a little tricky because you do have to give her affinity for mile. I do usually end up taking the bottom one after each race, just because you have the chance. But if it's a case where you're going to get either 10 or 30, I usually take the top because 20 is better than getting 30. I always take the middle option pretty much, unless it says that I have 3 double circles or more in this first race. On fan runs, there's a good chance that I take the middle option every time. But sometimes I forget because... again, I'm muscle memorying it, so sometimes I'll just do the top one because I forgot and did the top one. I'm going to take the energy here because I'm basically low. And then the next turn, we're going to look and see what we have for training. We do need to push stamina here up to at least, I would say 300 is my goal right now. If I'm trying to like max out stats, I would like to have 400 in whatever stat that is by this point, or in the next like turn or so. So 46 or 42 to fail for that one is kind of steep. This one is wit, so I'll take the wit. Let's see. I'm gonna grab power here. Now I'm less trying to build up friendships because you can see I'm getting rainbows, and more just trying to stat. Oh, that's a low roll on that one. I'm just trying to stat gain at this point. Because most people are up to orange at this point, so we're just clicking whatever has the biggest number because we're doing a fan run. The goal is to win as many races as possible. We're running in so many races in Classic Year. You'll see this. We're gonna hit race and then not a race and then race 4 times. And so the chances of getting skin outbreak are pretty high. I think I always take the top one, yeah, because it's 20 speed. Chances of getting skin rash or other negative effects are pretty high. I don't care about my energy going into this race. I would like it to be higher, but usually what I do is I race wit, race, and then we double rest. Okay, we got a gold inspiration. That's nice. The reason we care in this one, it'll help us win. That's basically it. When I was picking races, anytime there's multiple G1s, I pick the one with more fans, basically. So in this case, we're doing the medium race. If your affinity is weird, like you have a better affinity with mile than medium, I will take the mile races. Or if you're worried about stamina, you could take the mile races instead. So in this one, we're going to wit, because even if I fail that wit training, there's no negative effect. You're not going to get mood down from failing a wit. So worst case scenario, you get the the however much width that was. Sorry, worst case scenario, you get 5 energy. Best case scenario, you get however much width that was. And then we're going to race 4 times. And she's going to not have any energy, so it doesn't really matter which one I choose. And yeah, when I'm doing fan runs, I do give up on my first summer camp completely because the goal is fans, not stats. So, and also you get a lot of stats because a lot of the fan cards that I chose also have good race bonus. I don't like that we got a mood down there, but because that was not from over racing, that was just like a RNG mood down. And so there is a chance we get lucky and we don't get mood downed before summer camp, and then we can and then we can not have to exit summer camp with an awful mood, but we'll see. Well, go into summer camp with an awful mood. Race gets second. So you can see why in the first year it really is just building stats as fast as possible. It's the only reason I pick Fuku. She gives you as many stats as much as possible. Oops, see, I almost took the top one there out of instinct. I'll be honest, in my normal ace runs, a lot of times it says you're going to lose that one, like, big time. Like, it'll have only triangles, and then you win anyway. So, going into summer camp in a bad mood, and this would be a nightmare in an ace run. That's why we never do it. But in a fan run, we don't care. I will check sometimes the blues here, but see, you can see that we have like a 20% chance to fail. I'd rather just have the mood up and then grab something good here. On a better roll, we'd have like 600-ish speed, which is more what I was rolling in the screenshot to Momo Cross from Unity earlier. So it does happen. That was just because there's blue. Honestly, because I'm doing fan runs and you only get so much time to grab as many stats as possible, I don't care where the blue is. We click the blue. Because you're going to get an extra, like, I don't know, between 10 and 20. What is this? 17. Yeah, between 10 and 20 of whatever stat it is. It's going to help you win. Right now, I just kind of wanted to use up my energy a little bit. We got the first Fuku event. And by got, I mean lost it. I'm going to go ahead and bring my mood up. Oh, of course. What do you give in your middle option? Okay, we'll take Power Guts. So her event is like 30 energy or a mood up. So that would have been great for me to not try to mood up right there. I always take the extra chaining, especially since we're going into a race here. So energy will be depleted because we're going to race 3 times in a row again. Her classic year is kind of, this is a downside to her not having any goal races, because if you do have goal races, you can actually mash them up 3 and never get mood down, skin outbreak, anything like that. So as long as they begin or end on a goal race, you're fine. The downside to her career is that she has no goal races in her classic year, which means that she does not get that protection. But the upside is you can choose whatever one you want, and you don't get stuck doing the Kikua show or whatever the game decides to throw you in. She's coming along nicely with her fans. I don't know why. Yeah. Coming along nicely with her fans. She has one more, which is the Japan Cup coming up here. So I think it helps a lot is remembering the schedule completely. So I know which race is coming up next, and I know what days they're going to be on. I know that, for example, the first 2 days after, I think it's first 3 days after summer camp, there's no good races unless you're a sprinter, because the sprinter stake is the second day after summer camp, for example. So we did get a mood down right before the new year. I normally wouldn't care. Oh, we got Claw Machine. I keep calling it Crane Game in the thing. I was like, I couldn't think of what it's called. Claw Machine. So I always play the Claw Machine normal, mostly because, 1, it's free mood up, free energy, free hints for skills. 2, I am trying to get the win 10 plushies in a single game of the Crane Game. But I do have it down to a science. If you're just desperate for a big mood, you need to get exactly 2 small plushies and 1 large one to get big win. Or, I think, oops, I missed. Or I get 6 small plushies Either one gives you a big win, and that gives you 2 mood ups. Excuse me. 2 mood ups. So there's no big plushies, so we're just going to grab the first one here. And I'm pretty sure I can only get the 10 plushies in a single game if I get the ones where they're standing up and holding 4 other friends. And don't drop all their friends on the way, because obviously I'm not like horrible at it, but I feel like I end up dropping them. It's very bad RNG on that game. Okay, Armenia Kinen. This is one of the biggest for fans, so there we go. Good girl. That was her classic year. That is her most torturous year. She made it through. It's the only year that she's likely to get skin outbreak, because I have those 4 races in a row. I could probably take the top one, but I don't really care that much. It's the only one she has 4 races in a row without any goal races. So she is very likely to get like skin outbreak or something right before. It's right before summer camp, so I don't care. Because any kind of, if she had gotten skin outbreak, it would have been fixed with my 2 rests there. I also don't mind when I get, oops, I clicked the wrong one. I don't mind when I get mood downed right before the end of the year a lot of times, especially if I don't have to race in the Armenia Kinen because of this event here. Moods you up. I also, in the Tamama Cross run that I took a picture of, she got, I think, practice poor right in the new year, and so she raced once, and then I spent the first day doing the infirmary event, got that practice poor gone for this little section here, and then I got carrot, I think, so she was full energy at the point that I'm at right now with no practice poor, so that was pretty good. Lucky though, because obviously no guarantee that she'll get rid of practice poor. So right now I'm just trying to maximize how many stats I can get. Ooh, I've gotten this like 4 times today, I swear to God. So I always choose the winning chakra, because if it does work, you do get straightaway acceleration and corner recovery. Sorry, I totally messed it up. Okay, so there's 2 choices with this one. You can grab groundwork if it's relevant or you're trying to make a parent, or you can grab the energy. I'm going to grab groundwork because I would like her to be a parent, potentially. And she does have pace A, and sometimes pace tracers are basically act as front runners, so they can use groundwork on them. So I'm going to grab groundwork in this case. Most cases, I would advise that random event to drop, to grab the bottom one, because it gives you 25 energy, and it's worth it, I think. So I know that I have the Spring Tenno show coming, and she's pretty low on stamina, if I recall, because I haven't been pushing it enough. So we might have to buy some skills just to make sure she gets through the Spring Tenno show, but we'll see where we're at after this inspiration event. Fan event raises your mood. Assuming you have enough fans, which she certainly does. So yeah, she's kind of low, but we did get lucky and get a blue. And then she failed. So I was just about to say, as soon as she doesn't fail, we might not have to buy skills, but we do, because she did. But she's got so many. Oops, she's got so many options here. We'll just grab these 2, and then I'll grab straightaway spurt, because I don't really have a source of it anyway, aside from random blues. So we'll just grab that, and hopefully she'll win, even with only a good mood and a kind of low stamina. Or a third is fine. Honestly, getting the Spring Tenno show, I feel like you need at least like 400 to 500 stamina. And if you're at 400, you might need recovery skills and still need luck, because it's real tough. If you're up here and got 600 in every stat, I think you're, if not a shoe-in, then you're less reliant on luck, at least at that point. She does have 4 races total from the Spring Tenno show, but they are split up. So it's Spring Tenno show, then this race here, the Victoria Mile, then a gap, then you see the Kinen. Is that how you say it? Anyway, and then the Takazuka Kinen. We're going to grab the next race too. And then because there's only one optional race in between, because one of them is a goal race, I'm going to grab a rest here. So we can actually make use of her summer camp in the second year. Then we're going to view results. And it would be nice if we got a mood up for one of these races. That would be convenient. I'm told in if you're not using items to mood up, you're going to be using races to mood up. So you're going to recreate as little as possible, basically. Now we're in summer camp here. Oh, we have to get the Unity Cup first. Again, I don't think too hard about it. I never check my team. I just trust it to do its thing. I probably could definitely switch to the top one. But in fan runs, we don't really care if we win the Unity Cup. It's just nice if we do, because then we have an extra skill to buy. But, like, I would say if you take the middle option, all except the last one, you do definitely have a chance still. But you want to be giving, I would like to take the power, if that would be an option later in this, because now I'm just, like, looking at my stats and how I can round them out, because I want to try to hit 600 and everything. So I'd like to hit stamina a bit more, I'd like to hit wit a bit more, I'd like to hit guts a little bit more, and low energy, so that'll give me a chance to mood up here, and then we can go in. So, now, at this point, at the end of summer camp, I always do math in my head. I say I'm always going to have about 200 more stats than I currently have while you're in Unity Cup. So when you're looking at my stats right now, my prediction will be I'm going to have around, like, 900-ish speed, 6-ish, 600 stamina, 800-ish power, etc. At the end of the career. So the goal, to kind of curve that, is to try to get to 100 under where you want to be at before the Unity Cup starts. So right now I want to hit around 600-ish stamina, if you recall. So I want to try to get to at least 500 before Unity Cup starts. She gives a lot of skill points, but we're going to take the pressure one. Because, again, we have plenty of skill points here. I think tomorrow is the first race. So, yeah, I hope this goes off right. Okay, we're good. I do gamble anything up to, like, 20-ish, usually. And then if it's more stats than the percent to fail, it becomes more worth it. So if you're looking at, like, a 40% chance to fail, but you're looking at 80 stats, it's worth the gamble. But if you're looking at 20 stats for that 40% to fail, not worth it, so it's generally my decision. I mainly made that decision so I can get through these a lot faster. This is going to be another set of 3, but the this goal race, the one I just did, was a required race. Sorry, it was a goal race. So she's not going to get from racing 3 times, she's not going to get mood down or anything like or penalized in that way. I would prefer to have had more energy going into these 3, just because I now have to either rest or do a recreation while I'm in the last 3 races here, because I can only do one or the other while I am between the Armina Kinen, and I'm gonna have to do this and hope for karaoke. Nope. Of course not. So I'm going to have to probably waste at least a turn resting, and then I'm probably just going to hope I can get through the 3 races in a good mood, because I really would have rather get a high roll at the shrine, or get a karaoke to get the full great mood. But 'tis life, 'tis RMG, 'tis Uma. And that's her. I think that's based on certain races she does, but because I do every single G1, she always gets it. You can see I have a double circle in there. I think that might be the team that she's on, like her miles. So I won't be surprised if she wins there. I'm sure you noticed I skip these. I feel like if I had taken the top option in the previous, first of all, I would have won it, and also second of all, I think I might have won this one. So obviously you can see, not a great option to train here with 0 energy, so we're going to go ahead and rest. And you can see what I mean by I was already thinking about what I'm going to do in these turns. Like, turns ago. Like, before I even went into the Army Kinen. Probably back in the Japan Cup I mentioned it. I knew I was going to have to rest all the way back then. So I don't think about it. I just rest. Now we have the ability to grab stats. We're trying to get out to 600 here, so we're going to grab this. I know math-wise when I'll hit the full is around whatever it is, 60. So, like, if you hit 60-ish, 65-ish, you should hit the next level up. So, like, right now, I'm guaranteed 900 speed. I think I'm almost guaranteed 600 stamina. Trying to remember everything. I'm not guaranteed enough power. So, what I'll do is I'll take the power here, because that'll put me in, like, 50-something. 60? I didn't do the math. It was 55. And so I'll be just under that 900 power. Or 800 power, sorry. I've done the math quite a few times when I'm stopped and think about it. So like 16 plus if you get Rico, that's 30. So I always add that to stamina. Plus, depending on where you're at, I did get that Hot Topic. So we got 3 off of her. And then 8 off of just the event ending. And then 5 off of your own Uma. And then, like I said, you have to remember Rico gives you an additional 30. So this is where my stats are at. Obviously, this is not a great roll. My wit could have had 4 more freaking stats to get to there. I am at 411. So just I forget how long have I been recording for? About 26 minutes. So this is probably a little longer, but again, we did do a crane game. So 26 minutes isn't bad. For my skills, we're just going to buy all the greens. I'm going to grab Tail Held High. We're going to not forget Groundwork. We'll grab Pace Savvy. So why am I grabbing every single one? Because it's supposed to be a parent run. I actually would prefer not to take long skills. I'm going to grab Stamina Eater anyway, though. I would prefer not to take long skills just because she's got so many miles behind her. And there's a chance that she will get a mile. But now it's just whatever I can afford here. So 149, oops, I keep on clicking on my thing. I'll put it up here. Mile Corners. And then we have 69. Are any of you cheap enough? No. What did I actually grab here? Competitive Spirit, Spring Runner, Wet Conditions. I'll drop this, and so I have 150 to spend. And then let's grab Passing Pro. Alright. Let's see. I'm sure it's going to be like a middling A. Ooh, it's higher than I thought. High A. 1-star wit. There you go. That's a fan run / parent run. If I was doing an actual parent run, like I was trying to do an actual training for a parent, I would put a lot more effort into thinking about what my pink skills are going to be. So, anyway, so this one was a little longer. I think I quoted myself at 22 minutes for the previous one, 22 or 23 minutes. This is 26 minutes. Obviously, there's going to be variation. My sample size was only 2 in my original test. So, this was fan run, 23 minutes, about as long as it took me to do the URA, maybe like 6 minutes longer, which does add up. So I'm going to stop recording here, and then I will record my other one.